Hello! It's time to reveal some hidden and interesting Reddit stories. Let's enjoy the stories. Story 1. I think my sister just ruined our dad's engagement to an amazing woman, and I hate her so much. I am really angry right now at my stupid, entitled brat of a sister. I want to use a different B word, but I do not think I can post with it, so just know it is the one I mean. I wish I could type out just how much I hate her right now. Maybe this will help. There is so much I want to yell at her or get off my chest, but we are at our grandparents' place and I cannot lash out at her like she deserves, and she knows it too. I do not know how much of this is relevant, but here goes, hoping I am less angry when I'm done. Background. My family is me and my twin, Sebastian. We are 16, and he is writing this with me. We have an older sister, Lisa, who is 17. Our dad is Sean, 41, and our former, maybe future stepmom is Amy, 36. Fake names, obviously. Our mom died 9 years ago. Dad did not date for 5 years, then briefly dated a disaster called Riley, then took another break. He met Amy around 3 years ago, introduced us 2 years ago, we all moved into a bigger house together a year ago, and they got engaged 6 months ago. Before Riley was even in the picture, we were not thrilled that Dad had started dating again, but we went to therapy as a family to work through it. We made peace with it for the most part. Then Riley happened, and she was the worst. She was rude, jealous of our mom's memory, a gold digger, did not like us, just all around horrible. The three of us made an agreement that we would not allow anyone to erase our mom. We would never allow anyone to adopt us. We would be polite, but keep our distance from whoever Dad dated. It felt like we were honoring our mom that way, without stopping Dad from moving on. We also started calling the three of us, plus Dad, the core four. Getting to know Amy, though, and then moving in together, we did a complete 180 on that. Me and Seb more than Lisa. Amy is just good people. She's crazy smart and nerdy, has like 3 degrees, 1 in psychology, which explains a lot. We all play Dungeons and Dragons together. She's successful, artistic, athletic, and deadpan hilarious. She has this energy where when she talks, people just shut up and listen. She is wise, kind, patient, and also an absolute Sigma Bab. She's cool to hang out with, and she loves our dad. She also genuinely cares about our lives and hobbies. She has at least one thing with each of us. Seb and her do artsy stuff and play tennis. She plays video games with me. She and Lisa read a lot and go book shopping every few months. The house is full of books. She's teaching Lisa how to drive. They're both into K-pop. Honestly, they clicked the fastest when Lisa allows it. Amy never stops us from talking about our mom. She encourages it. There are still pictures of mom around the house, and Amy is completely fine with it. She's not threatened at all. Once, she helped Seb paint a picture of a photo of all 5 of us for our maternal granddad's birthday. Even our mom's family likes her. My aunt and Amy are friends now. We also found out a few months ago that Amy lost her dad when she was 12. I think that settled a lot for Lisa, who sometimes uses our mom to try to spite Amy. Amy either kills her with kindness or just moves on. Dad loves Amy. She makes him happy. They balance each other. She and Dad made it very clear she has no intention of replacing our mom. She's an authority figure without being a parent. She's open to whatever relationship we want with her, and she has never demanded anything beyond basic human respect. Why Lisa sucks. Lisa sometimes randomly regresses, especially after having fun with Amy. It feels like she's trying to provoke her. Amy doesn't engage. She sets boundaries and lets Dad handle it. When Lisa calms down and apologizes, she accepts it and moves on like nothing happened. Sometimes, though, Amy snaps. We call it Saba, sneak attack by Amy. She's brutal when she finally has enough. She once said to Lisa, after being told she would never replace our mom, that she would probably be living her best life with a rich European prince instead of dealing with brats. Another time, during a pregnancy scare, Lisa said something cruel, and Amy responded with a sexual remark involving our dad. It shocked everyone. Amy always apologizes if she goes too far. She's usually incredibly patient. Lisa knows she's scared and angry. Therapy is ongoing. What happened yesterday? We came home late. Dad and Amy were talking about wedding stuff and mentioned adoption very hypothetically. Lisa exploded. She screamed about our mom, insulted Amy, wished her dead, and said she would never want someone like her as a mother. Amy calmly said, "What makes you think I would ever choose you to be my daughter?" That broke Lisa. Dad took her upstairs. Amy stayed with us, visibly shaken. When Dad came back, Amy quietly grabbed her things and left in the snow, repeating, "Not tonight, be there for your sons." Dad broke down. I haven't seen him cry like that since our mom died. He kept asking if he had failed us. Today, Amy is still gone. Dad looks destroyed. When Lisa apologized, Dad said, "I will always love you as my daughter, but I don't love you as Lisa right now." That's the harshest thing he's ever said. We're at our grandparents' now. Lisa is pretending to read. I hate her. If she ruins this for all of us, I don't know what I'll do. That's it. I don't feel better. Let's take some comments. Commenter 1. "Oh man, OP, that is awful. I hope it can be fixed. Have you and Sebastian reached out to Amy? Please update." Reply from OP. "We're left on delivered. It snowed a lot and I don't think she has anywhere to go. Dad says she's safe, but I'm terrified she won't come back. Amy held this family together and now she's gone." Commenter 2. "It sounds like Amy finally realized she's not cut out for this, and that broke something in both of them." Commenter 3. "Amy has been absorbing blow after blow. What your sister said was the last straw. This will take time, but Lisa needs to understand that being a child doesn't excuse being cruel." This is my opinion about this story. This story is heartbreaking because it shows how unresolved grief can turn into cruelty when it's left unchecked. Amy wasn't trying to replace anyone, she was trying to belong. Sometimes the strongest, kindest people leave not because they don't care, but because they finally care enough to protect themselves.
Story 2. Am I asshole for taking a coloring book back from my niece after she got attached to it? I'm a 27-year-old woman and I live with my husband, who is 31. We've been married for about a year and a half. Overall, things are good, but we're still figuring out boundaries, especially when it comes to our belongings. I collect Hello Kitty and Sanrio items. Nothing extreme, but I have a small display shelf in the living room and a few related items on the bookshelf. Most of it is stuff I've picked up over the years. I fell in love with Hello Kitty as a kid when I lived in Japan, and after my family moved to the United States, I stopped seeing it around. Collecting it now feels very nostalgic to me. Last year, I went back to Japan to visit my grandparents and found these really nice Sanrio coloring books. They're not like the cheap kids ones you see at the store. The paper is thicker, the artwork is really detailed, and I bought them more as nostalgic collectibles than as something for random kids to use. This past weekend, we babysat my husband's niece, who is 6 years old, while his sister was out of town. I was working from my home office, so he handled most of the childcare during the day. Yesterday, during my lunch break, I saw her looking at my shelf. She asked if she could touch some of the figures, and I said yes, as long as she was very careful and put them back. I assumed she meant the ones she could already reach, and just the figures she was asking about at that exact moment. Later, I came out to grab a snack and saw her coloring at the table. At first, I thought it was a normal coloring book. Then I realized it was one of the ones I brought back from Japan, from my Hello Kitty shelf. I didn't want to upset her, but I felt like I had set pretty clear guidelines, and 6 seems old enough to understand that, at least to me. I could be wrong. So I just said, maybe we can find another book for you to color in. She was really into it, and my husband laughed and said we should just let her keep it since she'd already started coloring in it. I quietly told him I'd rather not and that we could easily buy her a different coloring book. He brushed it off and said I was overthinking it. I didn't want to argue in front of her, so I dropped it. That night, after she went to sleep, I noticed he had packed the coloring book into her backpack. That really bothered me because it felt like he had decided to give away something of mine without asking. So I took it out and shoved it under a couch cushion. I know that sounds dramatic, but I just knew if I put it back on the shelf, it would end up back in her bag. The next morning, she had a meltdown looking for it. Crying, screaming, full meltdown. When her mother arrived, we explained that she had lost a coloring book we gave her. After they left, I put the book back on the shelf. My husband said he was really disappointed in me, said I was being petty and childish, and that I should have just let her keep it. I told him it wasn't about the price, it was about the fact that it was something I brought back from Japan and part of my collection, and he gave it away without asking. Now things are tense, and I'm wondering if I overreacted by taking it back. Comments. Commenter 1. You should be really disappointed in him. He gave away something that was important to you without a single thought. Commenter 2. I would be locking up my collection after that. That kind of blatant disregard makes me think he would get rid of her stuff too. He knew she didn't want him to give away her coloring book and tried to do it anyway. What will he do after this, now that she had the nerve to take it back? Commenter 3. He is. He sees your collection as childish and disposable, and that's not okay. If he wanted to give it away, he should have bought you a replacement. Honestly, he should do that anyway. Personal commentary. This isn't really about a coloring book. It's about respect. Giving away something that belongs to your partner without asking crosses a boundary, especially when it has emotional value. Kids can be disappointed, but adults should know better.
Story 3. A customer called me stupid, so I made sure he'd never be able to return his purchase. I've worked retail for 3 years, and you definitely develop a thick skin. But sometimes someone still manages to get under it. Anyway, this guy came in the other day. Middle-aged, he was already annoyed before I even spoke. He wanted a specific speaker that was on sale, and unfortunately, we were sold out. I told him I could check other stores or order it online for him at the same price. Reasonable options, right? He goes, "Are you stupid? Just check the back." Not verbatim, but that was the energy. I smiled and said I'd check, then walked to the back. I stood there for 3 minutes. Then I came back out and said, "Sorry, sir, we don't have any." He ended up buying a different speaker, a more expensive one. His loss. Now, one thing about our return policy, you need a receipt. You can technically do it without one, but it's a whole thing. Managers get involved, they need your ID, and it's store credit only. Total pain in the ass. So when I bagged his speaker, I folded the receipt as small as it would go. Then I taped the bag shut. Then I put that bag inside another bag and taped that one shut too. I tucked the receipt right between the layers, exactly where the tape meets the plastic. If he ever tries to return that speaker, he'll have to destroy both bags to find it. And even then, it's this tiny, crumpled square wedged in tape residue. Will it ruin his life? No. Will it mildly inconvenience him at the exact moment he's already frustrated about returning something? Yes. Enjoy your speaker, sir. I hope you love it, because returning it is going to be a whole journey. Comments. Commenter 1. Pulled that checking in the back stunt a few times myself. Like, I know it's not there because you're the 5th person asking for it today, but I can go scroll Reddit for a few minutes in the stockroom while you wait. Commenter 2. Used to walk in the back room and someone would, without fail, go, "What are you pretending to look for?" Because we didn't do overstock at TJ Maxx. What was out was what we had. Commenter 3. The best is when they're adamant that you double check. "Ma'am, the shelves in the back are literally empty. I can see wall to wall and there is nothing back there. But if you insist I double check, okay, I'll go back there for you." Personal commentary. Retail workers deal with more disrespect than most people realize, and small acts of petty revenge can feel like reclaiming a little control. Was it mature? Maybe not, but it's hard to feel bad for someone who leads with, "Are you stupid?" Sometimes karma comes wrapped in double-bagged tape.
Story 4. Am I the asshole for telling my sister, "You are selfish," and canceling her engagement dinner at my place? I have a younger sibling, and it feels like I am always helping her. In college, I helped her with essays. I listened to her problems. If she got stuck somewhere, I would go pick her up. She is 24 now, and it has become pretty clear that she doesn't reciprocate. She doesn't really help out or do favors for family. My brother and I have both noticed it. I even had a conversation with her about it, and she said she would do better. Recently, she asked if she could use my house for her engagement dinner, and I agreed. In my opinion, that was a big favor. I have also been helping plan it. My sister lives very close to my kids' daycare. One day, I left work, and on the way home, there was a huge crash on the highway. Traffic was completely stopped. It ended up taking me 4 hours to get home. My husband was also stuck in it. The daycare called asking where I was, and I told them I was trying to get there. They charge an extra $100 every 30 minutes you are late. I called my sister and asked her to pick up the kids and hold on to them for a few hours until I could get there. She told me no. She said she wanted to relax that night. I told her I really needed her to do this favor because I was stuck and it didn't seem like traffic was moving anytime soon. I even told her I would Venmo her the daycare money, but to please just pick them up. She told me no again and hung up. I ended up calling my mother-in-law, who lives an hour away, and she was able to pick the kids up and stay at our place until we got back around 9. I was in traffic for 4 hours. To be honest, I have been pissed since that happened last Thursday. I have helped her over and over again, and she couldn't do me a simple favor when she is literally 10 minutes away from the daycare because she wanted to relax. I talked it over with my husband, and we both agreed we were done helping her. I sent her a text that said family is supposed to help each other, and it has become clear that she only ever wants help and is not willing to help in return. I told her I would not be hosting her engagement party and would not be doing her any more favors. She called, and we got into a huge argument. I called her selfish, and she called me petty. I want an outsider's opinion because I am still angry about this whole thing. Comments. Commenter 1. There was a meme floating around Reddit this week that said, relationships are not transactional, but they are reciprocal. Remember that the next time you want to tell somebody you don't owe them anything. It got me thinking about it all week. Commenter 2. I truly think people forget that you have to give back if you want people to help you in the future. You can't just take all the time. The whole "you don't have to do anything for anyone" idea is true, but live with no one ever wanting to help you if you act that way. Commenter 3. This is what frustrates me about my brother, but not in the way you're probably thinking. He refuses to let me pay for dinner or groceries when we hang out. Seriously, I have to body check him at checkout just to put my credit card in the machine. I'm happy to let him fix some seriously delicious smoked meats and serve some of the best home cooking. But come on, let me pay for part of it, because I definitely can't cook that well. Personal commentary. Helping family should not feel like a one-way street. Emergencies reveal a lot about who is willing to show up when it matters most. Canceling the dinner may feel harsh, but boundaries usually only appear petty to the person who benefits from ignoring them.
Story 5. I proudly ate my coworker's lunch, and it was fantastic. I worked somewhere that required us to write our names on our lunches using name tags that were provided. The rule was that at the end of the week, our night manager and only him would purge the fridge on Friday before the building was locked up.
One Monday, I noticed that the cleaning staff must have thrown away the markers and name tags, so everyone just placed their food in the fridge unmarked. We had a busybody named Kara who decided to take it upon herself to purge the fridge that Monday after her shift ended, because none of the food or drinks had name tags on them. I guess she thought the night manager forgot. She apparently didn't think it was strange that every single item was unlabeled or that there was so much food getting tossed. She essentially threw away any leftover lunches that mid-shifters had put in there and full lunches that the closing shift had placed in there. We were all furious. She didn't get in any trouble. We didn't get any compensation. Management didn't even offer to buy lunch for the people affected. I literally had a whole sub from an Italian deli that cost $15 thrown out. She wasn't a manager, but her role required her to work closely with management to the point where she thought she was a proxy manager. Fast forward about a month. I went to grab my tea from the fridge and noticed a pizza box inside. On it, it said, Kara, 50 wings, half mild, half barbecue, off the char pit. Kara had a set schedule and was already done for the day, so I'm assuming she ordered the wings from a place that closes early so she could take them home after work. I took the box out of the fridge, wrapped my jacket around it, and placed it in the trunk of my car. It was wintertime in the Northeast. Two of my close coworkers who had also lost their lunches took those bad boys back to my apartment after work and we feasted. I don't feel bad and I would do it again. The icing on the cake was hearing her complain about it the next day and trying to start a rumor that there were cameras in the break room and that management had started an investigation. That was complete nonsense. There were no cameras and no investigation ever took place. Comments. Commenter 1. They say revenge is a dish best served cold, but apparently it's best served half mild and half barbecue. Reply from OP. Even better when it's served off the char pit. Highly recommend. Commenter 2. This is a lovely story. I'm still salty about a workplace fridge being cleaned out without warning a long time ago. Half of my bottled smoothie was thrown away. I was in grad school and those weren't cheap. Commenter 3. I'm surprised other people didn't do the same thing since she threw everyone's food out. She should have seen the writing on the wall with how much money's worth of food she dumped. Reply from OP. What really made people angry was that she threw away the food of people who were making just a few dollars over minimum wage, while her husband worked in the executive office of the Buffalo Sabres. Personal commentary. There's something poetic about someone who casually throws away other people's lunches, losing 50 wings in return. It wasn't exactly the high road, but it was definitely balanced karma. Sometimes the universe delivers justice, half mild, half barbecue.
This brings us to the end of our stories. Thanks for watching all the way through. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated with new Reddit stories.